Thor. You know him as the god of thunder or the strongest avenger. But I know him as a chubby redhead with anger management issues who rides a chariot drawn by two goats. Seriously, on some real Santa Claus shit. Also, the real Thor is actually 3/4 giant. Yeah, you know the Jotnar, the evil giants that Thor is genociding on the regular? Yeah, he 3/4 that. Unlike in the MCU where Loki is half Jotun, so half giant, in mythology, Thor's mom, Jord, is a giant and also considered the personification of the earth. And Odin is half giant, hence why Thor is so strong, and maybe that genocidal hate bone against his ancestry is why the mythological Thor is always drinking or taking lives. And that was a long sentence. Marvel did actually play on that violent drunk aspect a little bit and got bits of it right, unlike the Natalie Portman part, because the actual Thor was married to Sif, and Sif actually has a lot to do with how Thor got his famous hammer. Wait, I'm talking about Mjolnir. Jeez, I'm way too immature sometimes. These jokes shouldn't be funny to me. I'm 32 years old. One day, Loki decided to cut off all of Sif's hair because it was Friday, he ain't had no job.
And you ain't got shit to do.
So after that was done, Thor was mad. And when mythological Thor gets mad, somebody usually dies. So Loki had to appease his nephew. Yeah, in Norse mythology, Loki is not Thor's brother, but actually the sworn blood brother of Odin, making him Thor's blood uncle. And in order to make up for it, Loki decided he would have a powerful weapon crafted for Thor, Mjolnir. And to do that, Loki resorted to lies and trickery because clearly he never learned this lesson. So Loki challenged the dwarven blacksmiths, basically saying, I bet you can craft the greatest weapon ever. And I like to think that the dwarves were like, hold my beer, because they're dwarves and they're always drinking beer, right? Is that just funny to me? Is that another one of those nerdy mythological jokes? I don't know. Anyway, challenge accepted, the dwarves went to work. Oh, and Loki wagered his life on the bet, by the way. So as they were crafting Mjolnir, he sabotaged it by transforming into a fly and biting one of the blacksmiths in the eye, so that Mjolnir isn't actually the greatest weapon ever. And that's why the handle of Mjolnir is short compared to its head. I swear, these dirty innuendos. I swear, I didn't even try to crack a smile. And again, 32 shouldn't be this immature. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on in this video. If there was any doubt, Mjolnir cemented Thor as the strongest of all the Norse gods. And on top of that, Thor also had a magical belt and gloves that are often not mentioned. The gloves were necessary to handle Mjolnir's force, along with the belt that simply and literally doubled Thor's power like some video game item. And that's why Thor was able to wield Mjolnir. The whole wordy thing, that's just cool writing by Marvel. As is Thor being able to fly. In mythology, he couldn't. He was riding a chariot through the sky drawn by two goats. In fact, one time, one of the Jotnar, the evil giants, just took and hid Mjolnir from Thor and demanded the goddess of beauty and love in exchange, Freya. Obviously a ridiculous request, so Thor said, okay, deal. And went to get Freya, but she said, no deal. And she was slightly offended that Thor would just trade her for his hammer. So then Heimdall, the Watcher, had a genius idea. Let's dress this massive, brawny, bearded, red-headed god of thunder up in a wedding gown and present him to the giant. And they actually did that, and it worked. Because cross-dressing and bad comedy was even funny back in the ancient North. Anyway, fast forward to the wedding when the Jotnar didn't catch on to fake Freya Thor, even though he ate a whole ox and drank liters of beer while wearing the gown. Seriously? This is starting to sound like some early 2000s Adam Sandler comedy. The giants then presented fake Freya with the wedding gift, Mjolnir. And fake Freya was like, aha! Aha! I'm actually Thor. Dun, dun, dun. And then he slaughtered every giant in attendance. Like every single one. He slaughtered all of them. Again, this red-headed Thor had a temper. Hence the red hair. It represented his fiery temper. There are more than a few stories of Thor being angered and responding with borderline giant genocide, because that's what this mythological Thor is all about, next to his heroics. Despite all that and the great worship of Thor, there's an ending for the god of thunder in Norse mythology. He died during Ragnarok at the hands of Loki's son, the world serpent Jormungandr. And I'll explain in the Loki video why the dude has a son that's a serpent that can wrap around the world, and also why he has a giant wolf as a son. It's just Loki stuff. I'll explain that in this video. In the final battle of Norse mythology, Ragnarok, Thor fights Jormungandr, the world serpent, in an epic battle and defeats the giant serpent, but not without being wounded by its venomous bite. And after the battle, Thor is only able to take 9 more steps before succumbing to the poison and dying. But hey, at least we have Thursday now to remember him. You know, Thursday, Thor's Day.